Electric. Yes. Coach's Corner is also brought to you by Edward Jones Financial, Gateway Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Midwest Co-op, and Oahe Federal Credit Union. Coach's Corner is also brought to you by Lamb Motor, First Dakota National Bank, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, and Wagner Auto. And now, live from the Long Branch in downtown Pierre, it's award-winning KCCR Sports Director, John Winkler.
And a good evening as we welcome you here to the Long Branch for another edition of Coach's Corner, as we will be joined with Coach Steve Steele, the Oahe Capitals, here in just a moment. We will talk with Coach Brian White of the Sully Chargers as they get set for their season to begin. The practice start on Monday. We'll also talk with Brianna Kusler of the Pierre boys basketball team. Again, practice start on Monday for them, and Max Foth of the Stanley County boys basketball team. So after we get done talking hockey, we're talking about basketball the rest of the show, but we will start with hockey first, and we'll talk with Coach Steve Steele next. You're listening to Coach's Corner live for the Long Branch here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
For an excellent choice to meet, greet, or eat, be sure to head to downtown Pierre and the Long Branch. The Long Branch has plenty of room for the big groups, cozy spots for that intimate setting, and you're going to love the selections and variety on their menu. Plus, their specials are sure to please. There's a fantastic variety of libations available, and it's a great place to unwind. Now, home of KCCR Coach's Corner, Wednesday nights, come on down to the LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pierre Street, downtown Pierre.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
For 30 years, Todd's Electric Service has had the privilege of providing electrical wiring solutions for residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in central South Dakota. From small service calls to large commercial projects, Todd's Electric Service has experienced electricians for any job. Call 223-2518 to schedule your project. Todd's Electric Service is your line to power. 223-2518.
As long as you have a local cooperative, you'll never farm alone. At CHS Midwest Cooperative, our team is your team, ready to help you make the decisions that are vital to your operation. From the seed, plant health, and marketing the grain, to fuel to keep you running, the feed to supplement your herds, and the financing programs to make it all possible. We're here for you. Give CHS Midwest Cooperative a call today and let us show you the value of the co-op. Local, loyal, and trusted for generations.
Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre still wants your trade or your spare vehicle, and we're willing to give you top dollar. And we'll throw in an additional 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Sell us your car, and Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota will give you an additional 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Trade in your vehicle for a new or different one, and Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota will give you 250 Pierre Pride dollars. Gateway Ford Lincoln Toyota at 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Call 605-224-7378 and visit GatewayFordToyota.com.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Oahe Federal Credit Union member? At Oahe Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Oahe Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Oahe Federal Credit Union.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here to the Long Branch, as we are joined with Coach Steve Steele, the Oahe Capitals, as they will be playing this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all on the road. The first home game is not until December 18th, so we're a long ways away from that first home game. But it's good to talk to you, Coach, and a good win on Friday night, a resounding win. Got a shutout and had a hat trick in there. There was a lot of good to take away from that first win.
Yeah, it was the start you always hope for. We came out, persevered through some bad bounces, and ended up doing everything we needed to do all game long. So couldn't ask for a better start.
Now let's just go straight into this weekend, because it's a tough weekend in terms of you got 3 games in 3 days, and while you've had that in the preseason and have played a lot of games in a weekend over a preseason, it's different when the regular season starts. It's different when you're playing games that the points matter a little. They matter a lot more than what they do in preseason, because they don't matter at all in the preseason. But there's a little bit more challenging when you have those 3 games in 3 days all on the road too.
Yeah, there's just a different intensity when you get into league play, and then again when you add in the travel component of. You're going to have all-day school Friday, and then you're going to get in a car for 3 hours, and then you're going to go play a game, and then you're going to either go to sleep and get up and drive another 2 hours, or go right after and then play a game, and then drive 2 hours and go do it again. So it's just a challenging schedule for this weekend. But the kids we've had a good week of practice so far, and we're off to a hot start, so we've just got to keep that momentum going. And luckily we're a pretty young team, and it's early in the season, so we don't really have any bumps or bruises yet.
That's what I was about to ask. Is it better to have this happen early in the season, maybe not the first weekend, but maybe happen early in the season compared to being late in the season?
Yeah, I think definitely it's better earlier in the year, just because again you don't have that cumulative factor of playing all the games all the season long, and then being a little bit banged up towards the end of the season or fatigued. So coming right out of the gates, it's not that bad. Having that one game to start last weekend, and really having a tough weekend this weekend. I think it's definitely better in the beginning.
Aberdeen Cougars are on Friday. They've missed the state tournament the last couple of years, but they're a much improved team, and they've got a good depth to them. What have you seen from them? Because you saw them in the preseason. Talk about why they're improved and why they got the depth to them now.
I think the biggest thing they've done is, they've just collectively improved. I don't think that they've got, necessarily a really outstanding, exceptional line, but they don't really have a bad line that you're like, well, we can attack this really, really well too. They're from top to bottom. They're a pretty consistent team. Their defense is big, strong kids that are going to not, they do a really good job in front of their own net. I said so. That's one of the big reasons they've improved is just they're very safe and sound in their own zone. They do a great job getting in the lanes, and then they've done a really good job in transition. I think through the young season so far.
Let's go right into Watertown on Saturday. They're also an improved team. They lost a couple of guys from graduation, but their goalie is back. He's one of the better ones in the states, and we've seen him play really well against the Capitals in the last couple of years. Also, so this Watertown team, Friday and Saturday, those 2 teams are much improved from where they were last year.
Yeah, anytime you play a goaltender like Watertown's, McBride's got that ability to steal a game at any moment in time. We've seen a couple of him seem to do that a couple of times over the course of the years. Because he's been their goalie for three for sure, maybe 4.
I would say feels like ever since I've been here, he's been their goalie.
So but he just has that ability, and that's a scary thing going in there, because if he gets into a groove and finds that rhythm, it's just really hard to get anything by him. And they do have an exceptional top line. I would say that their top line is extremely skilled and very fast. So we're going to have to do a good job on those guys, and then again find a way to crack the goalie.
Huron, also a really good goalie, but the numbers aren't there for Huron in terms of their skaters, and they probably won't be their numbers and the amount of points that they have this year with wins and games that go at least into overtime. But it's also the third game and third day, so while on paper it might be the easiest of the 3 games, it's still going to be tough with everything else that happens before that game.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. Like I said, by the time you get to that third game, you're going to be tired, you're going to be sore. And it doesn't matter who you're playing. You've got to be able to fight through that, and you can't be like, we don't have to get up for this one. We've got to make sure that we come out still as high as we can. Play with a lot of energy. That third day is usually a big energy day where your body might be sore and tired, but your mind's got to overcome with that energy, that excitement, and just finding ways to generate those vibes for the team.
Where you guys sit when looking at the season, when you first looked at the season and said, okay, this team's going to be good, this team's going to be good, we should be better than these teams, it's going to be a dogfighting with these teams. These three teams are ones that you probably, me personally said, okay, you should win these games in terms of just looking on paper. How important is it to get 6 points this weekend, which means winning all three games? No overtime losses, no losses at all. How important is it to get these 6 points?
Well, it's one of those things where early in the season, before everyone's really into it and you're not really standings watching and points counting and all that, you might not think, okay, it's not that important, but, it's crucial. If you want to have an opportunity to win a league championship and hopefully get at one of those top seeds, you can't give up any points, especially to teams that you're not thinking are going to be in that running, And again, these are still good teams. I said Aberdeen's a very improved team. Watertown's goalie and Huron's goalie have those ability to just lock down, but you've got to find a way in these games, especially early in the season, to get all the points you can.
And that's what you guys did last year, was able to win all the games you should. There's a couple of losses in there, but you got the number 2 seed. You're a win away against Brookings to maybe be in that 1 seed, but you did the job that you're supposed to last year. How do you replicate that this year?
I think in similar fashion, we've done a really good job. I think we're skating at a pretty good level right now, and our passing's been tremendous this season. And again, assuming we want to keep things trending in the right direction, I thought that was another thing we did last year really well, is we still continued to grow, but we learned by winning. We didn't have to lose games or have a bad loss to learn a lesson. Our guys were able to improve week to week, and learn from wins and watching film of our wins and being able to shore up the mistakes that we made while still finding ways to win those games.
Your top couple of lines going into this weekend from last weekend too has been very good, and not a senior in those top couple of lines, which is good for the future of Hawaii Capitals and also good for the present, because you're seeing how this team is already looking good from, and it's not even just a senior standpoint. These juniors, sophomores, freshmen, and an 8th grader are doing a pretty good job right now.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun, just to see the growth of these guys and see a lot of these new faces really step in, some from Bantams and some from just, different lesser roles, I guess, previous season, last season. But it's been really fun to watch these guys come together and mesh. They've come together really well. And, a lot of times, some seasons, you've really got to kind of tinker with the lineup, I think here and there to try and get things right. And, I think right now we feel pretty good about where we're at up front. And, our back ends where we've got most of our seniors and, they're doing a really good job back there too. So, we feel really good about our team right now.
Goalie-wise, you've got Kieran Duffy, who had the shutout on Friday, Carter Scholes, Colin Lee. Those 3 guys are going to be fighting for a lot of time this year varsity-wise. And with 3 games in 3 days, what's the outlook for these 3 goalies?
Well, they'll all get a game this weekend, and I said that's a credit to all of them. Obviously, Kieran and Carter had outstanding seasons on the varsity level last year, and Colin's done an amazing job. He's improved so much, and he's really closed that gap and made this a really tough and yet fun competition. So they'll all get one this weekend, and while some of the kids obviously you want to play every game at the same point, it's really, really nice to not have to try and play someone for 3 games like a lot of the teams are going to have to do when they get these 3-game weekends, so that you're always guaranteeing yourself a fresh goalie in there. Because even if you have some of these goalies we're talking about, where Watertown's got an outstanding goalie, well, he gets to play Sioux Falls one on Friday night, and then he gets to play us on Saturday night, and that's going to be a tough game for him on Friday night. He's going to get work. A lot of work in that game, and then having to go back-to-back nights is tough for even the best of the goalies. So we're really thankful that we have a lot of options back there that we feel confident in.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that last year Kieran and Carter both played 10 games each. Now they may play less than 10 games because of Colin as well, and the fact that you can do that and feel comfortable with them when other teams are playing. If our goalie's not playing all 20 games, that means he's either hurt or something bad has happened, because there's no possible way we should have anybody else be our varsity goalie. And here you guys saying, all 3 of you guys, go out and see what you can do.
Yeah, it's such a fun thing to have, and the competition at practices is, I think, the most fun part that, most people obviously don't get to see, if you're not there every day. And that's a really fun thing to watch as a coach, where they're all cheering for each other, but at the same point, they're like, gosh, I need to get in there and make a save, because, Kieran makes a great save, and Carter's like, oh, shoot, I got to get in there, and I got to make a great save. And then Colin goes in, I've got to make a great save. And the competition that breeds is just a lot of fun to watch, and it's really an awesome feeling just to have these three guys out there that not just the coaching staff but all the kids have confidence in.
Talking with Coach Steve Steele, the Oahe Capitals. They play 3 times this weekend in Aberdeen at 8 o'clock on Friday night. We'll be on the air 7:40 on Capital City Rock, and watch it on YouTube at Capital City Rock Sports. They play at 8:30 Saturday night against Watertown. The girls will play at 4:30. The boys play at 8:30. We'll have 20 minutes prior to puck drop. We'll be on the air on Capital City Rock and on YouTube at Capital City Rock Sports. And then on Sunday, a 4 o'clock start against Huron. We'll be on the air at 3:40 on Capital City Rock and on YouTube at Capital City Rock Sports. So I kind of already asked you that, but I'll say it again. How do you go 3-0 this weekend and get 6 points out of against all three of those teams?
Biggest thing is we got to do one thing at a time. Our goalies have to play really good. They all know their assignments, who they're going to be prepping for all week. They've got to play really well like we know they can. And then we've just got to skate and pass and keep playing the way that we have been. And, we kind of talked about this last weekend. We got to stay out of the penalty box. I think the way that the rules are being changed now, we've got to be really smart in the way that we're playing. We've got to capitalize on the ones that we do get and really try to limit the ones that we take.
Coach Steve Steele, the Oahe Capitals. Coach, I appreciate the time. It always feels like this segment goes by really, really fast. And I got like 20 more questions to ask you, but I won't ask you this time. Maybe
that's
next
okay.
time.
We'll talk again in
I was gonna
6
say,
hours or
yeah.
something probably. So.
We'll talk tomorrow for our picks, but then we'll talk again Friday for the pregame show for the Caps and Cougars.
Sounds good. Thanks, John.
Head coach Steve Steele, the Oahe Capitals, will return and talk with Coach Brian White of the Sully Chargers. You're listening to Coach's Corner live for the Long Branch on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dale and DT here for the LB.
You know, Dale, the Long Branch offers variety, live music, and drink specials to help you unwind.
True, but you have got to try one of the most diverse menus available.
Got to get in a shout out for their wings, some of the best in town. Tuesdays, they have wing specials and a killer selection of flavors.
And now, the LB is home of KCCR's Coach's Corner, Wednesday nights up on the big stage.
Come for the food, stay for the fun. The LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pier Street in downtown Pierre.
There wasn't always a windmill in Millbank or a vinegar museum in Roslyn. Someone had to paint the graffiti mural on the Turtle Creek Spillway. And before First Dakota filed the first charter in 1872, you couldn't bank in South Dakota. Every timeless institution, tradition, and thriving business was started somewhere by someone who had a dream and the passion to make it happen first. What will be your South Dakota first? Visit firstdakota.com/first. Member FDIC.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
As long as you have a local cooperative, you'll never farm alone. At CHS Midwest Cooperative, our team is your team, ready to help you make the decisions that are vital to your operation. From the seed, plant health, and marketing the grain, to fuel to keep you running, the feed to supplement your herds, and the financing programs to make it all possible. We're here for you. Give CHS Midwest Cooperative a call today and let us show you the value of the co-op. Local, loyal, and trusted for generations.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back to Coach's Corner here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Joining me is Coach Brian White of the Sully Chargers as the boys basketball season, yes, it got underway on Monday with practice. And as we get ready for this season, we'll talk to a lot of the boys basketball coaches here this week. And Coach, I know you got to be excited about the start of the season. Every coach, I'm sure you're kind of twiddling your thumbs the last couple of weeks. I know you had a nice vacation probably, but probably twiddling your thumbs ready for this boys basketball season for practice to get underway.
Yeah, I think we're all excited. Everybody's 0-0, and at a point where you're optimistic about your group and whatnot, and we're in the same boat, and we're excited for an opportunity for our kids to get out and compete and get back on the floor and just see what they can do this year.
And let's talk about your team a little bit. First, talk about those guys that graduated from last year and that aren't returning to this year's team.
Yeah, we lost 3 kids from last year's team: Garrett Peterson, Caleb Cheequin, and then Rafe Wenches. Rafe Wenches is gonna be a tough hole to fill. He was kind of our guy inside, got a lot of stuff done. Really, just a workhorse on the glass. And, did a nice job finishing around the rim, and he's just a real physical body in there. And then we lose some guard play in Garrett and Caleb. But we got some kids that are coming up that we hope can fill some of those spots, and we got a couple guys that we hope can fill in on the physicality side, and really change the game for us, hopefully, a little bit this season.
And we'll talk about some of those guys that you're excited about moving into that varsity ranks. But some of the guys that returned from last year, who do you can go through everybody that kind of returns from last year, but starters specifically returning from last year, and what you like about having another year of experience with these guys.
Yeah, we got about 4 or 5 kids that got a lot of time last year, and really 6 that played a little bit, if not a decent amount. So we're excited about them returning. We're excited that we think they've made a little bit of growth, maybe got a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. And a lot of them were sophomores last year, and we had a couple juniors that played last year that probably made some growth, but some of our sophomores, moving from that sophomore to that junior body sometimes is just a different frame, a little bit stronger, a lot better. Their footwork's a little bit better, so we're excited about what our juniors might turn into this year. So, but we'll be kind of led by our seniors, the 2 Shaw brothers. Both of those 2 are going to be big, strong bodies. They're going to be physical. They're going to defend really well, rebound the basketball for us. They'll have to be the catalyst on the defensive side for us. Just Jesse will be underneath the hoop a little bit more, but Jordan can guard somebody under the hoop. He can guard somebody on the perimeter. He might be the strongest player in Class B basketball this year. I mean, he's just built like a brick house. He's just a really strong kid. Not real tall, but he's able to push people off their spot and get some stuff done underneath as well. So the Shaw brothers will really kind of demand a lot of attention defensively and on the glass for us, as well as offensively. I mean, they'll run their roles. They're not going to be guys that are going to make a ton of one-on-one plays, but within a system, they do a really, really nice job. And then Dwight Kinney, we're hoping to see him having kind of a step-up year, a new role for him. Last year he was kind of stuck behind Rafe a little bit, and we're hoping that this year he comes out and really has a great year. I'm excited for him. He's a long, lanky kid, about 6'2", 6'3" maybe, with some length, and he can shoot the ball. He can hopefully get to the rim a little bit, and not really a banger underneath, but has the ability to really rebound the ball. He finds gaps, and if he can go rebound the ball and defend for us, as well as knock down shots, that'd be a huge help for us. I don't think anybody's going to really replace the production that we got out of Rafe. He was almost a double-double kind of guy for us, and I don't think we're going to see that out of any of those 3. But I think collectively they could very easily exceed where we were last year in rebound the basketball, scoring the basketball, and things of that nature. So we're excited about our 3 seniors. They've been great leaders. They're going to work really hard for us, and they're fun to be around. So we're excited about that. And then we got some juniors upcoming. We'll start with Landon Hepker, who's actually played since he's a freshman. So this is kind of the year we're hoping that he really takes a big step forward. Gets a lot of things done, and can kind of show his skill set. He put a lot of time in the off season, and he's kind of transformed his body a little bit. we're excited to see what he can do this year. He'll play kind of a combo guard position for us, a swing forward, little point forward stuff. So, and then Marshall Whitler comes in playing a good amount of minutes last year, and I think just another year finding more confidence will give him the ability to really change the game for us. He's quick. He's hard to guard off the dribble. He's tough to stay in front of. He's not a real big kid, but if he can just cause havoc and make people have to close out on other guys, and he can really shoot the ball. I mean, he can shoot it from distance. He stretches defenses. He's going to give us a new threat that we probably didn't have last year. So excited to see what he does. And then Thomas Ferris, another kid that got a little bit of time last year, really physical specimen. I mean, very physical, very athletic. He'll be able to guard about any position on the floor. We're excited to see what he can do. He can really shoot it. So he can kind of be one of those 3-and-D guys for us, and hopefully get a lot of things done there. And then Tyler Marshall's our last junior that will see probably a good amount of playing time. And we're just excited that he's starting to fill out his frame, finding some confidence on the floor, and starting to figure it out day by day. So I think we'll see a much better Tyler this year than we have the last 2 years. And with his frame and athleticism, I think that can give us some really good minutes. So we're excited about what we're going to get from these guys. We're excited to see what happens, and hopefully they fit the system that we're going to try to run. And if we can play together, we're going to give ourselves a good opportunity to win some basketball games.
Again, talking with Coach Brian White of the Sully Chargers, as the boys basketball team got their first practice on Monday, second practice on Tuesday, and then here we are on Wednesday as the Chargers. You don't have your first game until December 14th, so where you see some other teams get to play maybe that weekend of December 10th and 11th, you have to wait till the 14th. But also, is that maybe a good thing to maybe get a couple more practices in before that first game?
Yeah, I have no problem with starting a little bit later. Gives us a few more practices, gives us a few more opportunities to kind of figure out who we are. You know, you never really know who you are at the start of the season, and we won't. You know, we're going to be a team that will be figuring ourselves out as we go. But just because we've got a lot of guys jumping in the new spots, but we're really excited about what we've got and what we think we're going to be able to do. But those extra days of just getting a ball in kids' hands consistently, you know, we're not really allowed to have any contact with them prior to the season starting with workouts. They might be able to go out and do some open gym stuff and play a little bit, but that's a very different situation than when you get into an organized basketball situation. You know, once you get into that organized basketball situation, it's a lot different. So being able to handle the ball within our system and doing those sort of things is something that's really important to us. So those extra days of practice hopefully pay off for us. But every day that we're able to have the ball in our hand and we're able to work on our skills is a day that we're going to get a little bit better. And if we can just keep getting a little bit better, hopefully at the end of the year we're a pretty good basketball team.
And you're a guy too that you love basketball games. You love the games itself, but you really love practice as well. You really like that opportunity to be in the gym and have a practice. I don't want to say that you like it more than a game, but you really, I mean, you're a guy that loves to be in the gym and loves to have that organized practice and being able to get that opportunity with those guys.
Oh, absolutely. And to say that I love practice more than a game would be true. Like, I love going to practice. Games are for the kids. Practices are for me. You know, honestly, I just love. I love going to practice. I think it's a great time for you to get to make an impact on your players. It's a great time to push your players to hopefully another level. And when you get to the game, hopefully the game is just the kids get the opportunity to go play and, you know, show off all the hard work they've put into it. But I've always said if I don't like going to practice, I better get out of this profession. Like, it's not a very good profession because that's where most of your time is spent, you know, and I really enjoy going to practice and seeing kids improve and seeing the kid go from a kid that can't hardly dribble with his left hand to being able to make a play in a game is a lot of fun. So I'm excited. I do really enjoy going to practice, so the extra practices don't bother me one bit.
We're talking with Coach Brian White of the Sully Chargers, and again, their season begins on December 14th against Lyman. That will be at home, part of a doubleheader on December 14th, but their first practice started on Monday. So, Coach, before I let you go, and you're a long ways away from that first game, so I'm not even going to ask you what's going to take to start out 1-0. I ask you, what's it going to take to have good practices and put that team in the good position to have a good start going into the season?
You know, we just got to show up with energy every day, an attitude that we want to be there, we want to get stuff done, we want to be better, and with kind of that thought of we can be pretty good. You know, last year was a little bit more of a struggle for us, coming off 4 straight years of being in the state tournament and having some just really phenomenal athletes. Well, those guys aren't all here anymore, but it's this group's turn to kind of take the reins and run with them. You know, so. But they have to believe that they can take those reins and run with them. And if they show up with an attitude that they're excited to be there and that they can make some stuff happen this year, that'll be a lot of fun for us. So that's really the thing that has to happen every day, is that expectation of getting better, the expectation of that we're going to take the reins over. It's this group's time to start making that run, and if they do that, it's going to be a lot of fun every day. And when we get to the games, we'll worry about those. But I think we'll get better every single day if our kids come with that kind of energy and that sort of attitude.
Coach Brian White of the Sully Chargers. Coach, I appreciate the time. It's always good catching up with you. You know, we spend all summer together and get a chance now to catch back up in the winter sports. So have fun at practice. I know you will, but have fun, and we'll talk again soon as the season begins.
Sounds good. Thanks for covering us.
We'll be back with more Coach's Corner after this here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Central South Dakota's award-winning news station is KCCR 1240 AM, 98.9 FM, K255DE Pierre, a riverfront broadcasting station.
DT and Dale here for the Long Branch in downtown Pierre. You know, the LB is a great place to kick back, relax, and unwind.
It has been for years, and it has a fantastic menu for lunch or dinner. Love that variety.
Yeah, good point. But we would be remiss if we didn't tell you about the best wings in town.
Tuesdays at the LB, try the delicious wings. And the more you buy, the more you save. The LB, the Long Branch in downtown Pierre. Now the home of KCCR's Coach's Corner, Wednesday evenings.
It takes hard work to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than just sports. It also goes for your financial goals. You work hard for your money. You deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. Your local Edward Jones financial advisor can help. If your investments aren't getting you closer to the win, visit edwardjones.com or stop by your local Pierre area Edward Jones office for a financial review. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
At Avera Health Plans, health insurance is more than just coverage. It's about making connections. We connect you with quality health care so you're covered when you need it. To health coaches and nurses who help meet your health goals. And to a quality network of providers, specialists, and 24/7 virtual care. Our focus is on your everyday well-being. Wherever you are along the journey, choose our health plan with connections. Connect with your agent or visit averahealthplans.com.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Oahe Federal Credit Union member? At Oahe Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Oahe Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Oahe Federal Credit Union.
This This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here live at the Long Branch as we continue Coach's Corner, we're talking with Coach Brianna Kusler of the Pierre Governor boys basketball team, who they also began practice. All boys basketball teams began practice on Monday. But, Coach, you've had now 6 practices altogether because you practice early morning, in the afternoon, the last 3 days. How's it been for you personally? How tired are you right now?
I'm doing all right now. You go right after, my voice probably isn't doing very well right now after 6 practices in 3 days, but the adrenaline rush that practices give you, it's hard to not be excited. Don't get me wrong. When I get home, I definitely crash hard, as I'm sure all the boys do as well. But long days, and the kids are working really hard right now, and it's something that's very exciting. It's a great environment to be a part of.
Yeah, and how? So we talked about you, but how's the practice been for the kids? How have you? What have you liked from them so far?
We talked after the first day as a coaching staff, and it didn't feel like a first day. I've been a part of a lot of first days as an athlete, and last year, of course, as a coach for the first time at the high school level. And there's usually, for lack of a better term, some ugliness involved, and I felt like it was limited. Usually you're starting, you're doing a lot of skill work naturally in those first few days, and then the up and down when they're not necessarily in basketball shape, it can get a little bit scattered, but I think that we felt that they were some quality practices and quality drills, and that's our biggest thing going into it is purposeful drills, purposeful movement from our guys, and they're really buying into that. So I feel that so they've put in a lot of effort these days. We've been working them. I know we just got done talking about some of the stuff that we've been doing, and they are really truly buying into toughening up a little bit.
Well, and the first thing before we get to talking about toughening up, you mentioned how it didn't feel like a first day. Is that a kind of a testament to how these kids have worked the last year and over the summer and after football was over to get to this point to make that first day feel not like a first day?
I think it is, absolutely. Their off-season prep was they were consistent in the gym, and they finally kind of grasped the idea that you can be a baseball player and still get in the gym, and you can still do your workouts as far as the weight room and conditioning go as well. It's summertime. There's plenty of time to get in the gym, and we're big on getting done and getting on with our day. You don't have to be in there for hours on end. Quality is better than quantity in our eyes. So, but I definitely think that the work that they put in both the off season and then even through the fall, whether they were soccer boys or cross country or football guys, we did a lot of skill work and skill-based drills throughout the fall that a lot of them took advantage of as well, in addition to being part of those. And then once they were done with those sports, they were able to get in and really work on more live drills as well. So I think you're absolutely right. That's been something that has allowed us to probably transition quicker than we maybe thought we were going to as now heading into practice number 7 tomorrow.
So why are guys going to be tougher? What have you done to make these guys going to be tougher going into the season? If you could talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We as a coaching staff we've designed, and I think kind of sparked my interest watching the football teams downstream this summer or this fall. I guess at the beginning, and watching just how the camaraderie was built because of the different things that they were doing throughout that. And for those unfamiliar with it, it's not much for football-related activities, but more things that require a lot of mental toughness and finding that next gear. And that's something that we want our kids to do, and we say it a lot. So one of our team, I guess, mantras, you could say, is TGHT, and that's the game honors toughness. And we also say, I mean, it's not enough for us just to say we want to be tough. You have to practice that, and you have to build that, and we believe that it can be something that is built, and it's not something that's natural for everybody, but it can be, especially through a team, something that is built, and we're better because when we are tougher. And one of the things that we are doing is the Toughest Govs Challenge, and these are some challenges every single day. I, as a coach, do not want to be partaking in them necessarily. I mean, it's a lot of, we're using some sandbags. We are things that are forcing them out of their comfort zone, and then finding that next gear when they are tired, and now they're broken into groups where it's 9 through 12. They're all mixed together, and they're being forced to still maintain that positivity throughout these challenges. When your mind starts to go, you've got your teammates there to pick you up and prove that you are tougher than what you think that you are.
That sounds, yeah, like you said, I don't know if I want to do it, but it'd be fun to watch other kids do it and see how
it's really
how they
been
respond.
admirable. It's been way better than what we had anticipated. You see it go. One kid, they're starting to slip a little bit, and all it takes is a little bit of encouragement from some teammates, and they're a new kid. And that's something that I think is very admirable from a coaching perspective.
You know, there's a lot of and a lot of these teams, a lot of the boys basketball teams are starting practice Monday and now playing then next week Friday already, and obviously you guys are in that same boat. How quickly you have to practice and how quickly you have to get through all this stuff. How has that been? How will that continue to be going into next week?
It seems like it's a very fast turnaround, and it is a fast turnaround. I mean, when you're talking, we'll go Monday through Friday this week. We have our green and white scrimmage on Saturday, and then we'll go Monday through Thursday of practice next week. It's important that we aren't, I have to remind myself a lot that we're not putting in too much. We're not overloading them. I think less is more at this point in the season, and really in all that we're doing. We kind of pride ourselves on that, and you don't have to have everything in by the start of your first game, but with what we do have in, we want the quality over the quantity again. So I think that's been important for the boys to acknowledge, is that we're not going to put in everything that we've got at this point, but what we are doing, really priding ourselves on the defensive and the rebounding end. Those are our non-negotiables every day. We do them every day, and we do them well every day, executing things. And then now we're starting to introduce our offenses and stuff, but gradually, knowing that we'll get there. It's not an overnight thing. They're not going to come tomorrow and have everything like the back of their hand, but with consistency and with the effort that they've been putting in, I don't think we're going to have any problems.
Yeah, and you talked about, and we heard it a couple days ago, yesterday, what it was about the tempo of the offense, and that you guys are going to be kind of pushing it. And sometimes, and maybe it's just going to, that first couple of games, is your basketball knowledge and your basketball IQ kind of takes over a little bit, and know where you're supposed to be by just having played the game for a while too. Obviously there's more to it, but I think that might be something how things might look right at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think that you're right there, as far as we're implementing some different looks in transition where there's some action and counteraction to that as well. But we talked even this morning at practice that at the end of the day, we want you guys to be basketball players, and we want you guys to create based on your instincts, and not being so robotic with all of your movements. We want you to be able to read those defenses and create based on what they're giving you. You don't have to go somewhere because that's what the play is designed. Make a read on where your defender is going to, or from a defensive standpoint, just because that's right where you're supposed to be, it doesn't mean that you can't alter it just a little bit every now and again and throw something different at them. Now, probably want to be pretty consistent on that side. But from an offensive end, we do want to give them some freedom to be able to create, because we have a lot of really good athletes, smart kids on our team that when they allow the game to come to them, they're a really talented group.
A couple real quick things here. The green and white game on Saturday. What times it start? Is there admission to get in, or if there is a donation, what would it be?
Yeah, so the green and white scrimmage is going to be at the high school at 10 a.m. The boys will go and the girls will follow. What it will be, it's admission is donations of either a case of water or Gatorade, and that goes to both the girls and the boys programs to use throughout the year. So as when we go on bus trips and different things in the locker room and whatnot. So, but that's at 10 a.m. The boys start, and then the girls will follow afterward, probably about 11 or so. And, yeah, it'll be good to get to play a little bit, not just be in a practice setting.
Right, and then next week, Friday, is the first game for both the boys and the girls, as the boys will be out west in Rapid City. Looking forward to talking to you before then again, but good talking to you again, and have fun the rest of the week of practice and get some sleep.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
We will return and talk with Coach Max Foth of the Stanley County Buffaloes. You're listening to Coach's Corner live from the Long Branch here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
For an excellent choice to meet, greet, or eat, be sure to head to downtown Pierre and the Long Branch. The Long Branch has plenty of room for the big groups, cozy spots for that intimate setting, and you're going to love the selections and variety on their menu. Plus, their specials are sure to please. There's a fantastic variety of libations available, and it's a great place to unwind. Now, home of KCCR Coach's Corner Wednesday nights, come on down to the LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pierre Street, downtown Pierre.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
It takes hard work to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than just sports. It also goes for your financial goals. You work hard for your money. You deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. Your local Edward Jones financial advisor can help. If your investments aren't getting you closer to the win, visit edwardjones.com or stop by your local Pierre area Edward Jones office for a financial review. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240, today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here, the Long Branch, and on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Joining me is Coach Max Foth, and you're going to be hard-pressed to find a guy that had a better weekend in 3 days than what Max Foth had. With Michigan winning on Saturday, the Niners, yeah. That's the first thing we hear from Max Foth for basketball season is him saying woo, because Michigan won on Saturday. The Niners beat the Vikings, which sometimes may not say too much, but because of the area that you're in, that's a pretty good win. That's a really good win. And then Monday you had first basketball practice. So 3 straight days. You got to be. Are you down from cloud 9 right now? Or are you still on cloud 9?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, it was awesome. Man, it's been a long time coming on the Michigan front. I had to try to explain to my wife that like it was 2011 the last time Michigan beat Ohio State. So it was. I mean, geez, it was about as good as it got on Saturday. Then of course I've got all my buddies are big-time Vikings fans, a lot of them. You know, I'm sorry about that, guys. But the Niners pulled out a win, and they've won 3 straight. So, yeah, it was pretty great. And then you combine that with getting to go coach my kids again. And, man, it was a great weekend, and it's been an awesome week.
And let's talk about practice. First couple of practices in the books now. What have you liked about your team? What have you seen from them that makes you excited for this 2021-22 season?
Yeah, I think we brought a lot of kids back from last year. You know, we bring back 4 starters from last season. You know, losing Nathan Cook hurts, who's playing great at Dakota State right now, playing football, and And talking to the Dakota State coaches, they're so happy for him, and he's doing a great job, so that's awesome. But losing him, Nathan Cook, he averaged about 18 points and close to 10 rebounds a game for us. So anytime you lose a senior that contributes that much to your team, it's going to be hard to replace. But we do bring back 4 starters, Lathan Prince and Cormac Duffy, Dason Titsey and Strand Scott all spent a lot of time starting last season. So anytime you can bring back that many seniors that have played as much basketball as they have, it's gonna lead to good things for you.
I was about to ask if they were all seniors too. That's also, it's got to make you excited to bring back 4 starters and a team that was good last year and that will be ready to be good again this year and take that next step. That's going to make you pretty excited 3 days into the basketball season.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that those kids have put in the work. They put in the time in the summertime. Every one of those kids that I listed have came to open gyms, and they've sweat in Parkview when the AC's not on and we're running up and down the court in the summertime. They put in all those long hours. They've played a ton of varsity basketball. So, you look at Lathan Prince. Lathan Prince has been our starting point guard since he was a freshman in high school, and it's his senior year now. He's had some ups and downs, but man, when he's right, I'd put him up against any guard in Class A. And then Cormac Duffy's really grown and blossomed into a really good basketball player. He started out when he was a freshman in high school, not wanting to be that physical, and all of a sudden he's initiating contact in practice and talking to our freshmen about how important it is to stay in condition and how to play physical and how to get after it. So we've had some really good senior leadership in the first 3 practices, and that's really fun to see as a coach when I can kind of just step back and be like, yeah, exactly like the senior said. Let's go and let's do it again.
And you kind of just took the words away from me too. I was going to say it's kind of nice to have that senior leadership being able to be there for, especially early on in the season when you get new freshmen, and those guys are going to be the future. With 4 senior starters already returning, that those are at least 4 guys you won't have next year. And obviously, you're as far away from next year as possible right now, but you like to see that start to show for the future as well.
Yeah, it's really fun. Coach Hofteaser and I were talking about it as we were getting through practice. It's really fun to see because we have so many seniors that have played so much varsity basketball. And you contrast that with, we have a really big freshman class for the basketball team. I think there's 9 freshman boys out for basketball, which is fantastic. But watching those 9 freshmen see these seniors and how they practice and how they play, and it's a little frustrating for the seniors sometimes because the freshmen aren't catching on to the drills right away and stuff like that, but it's just, you remind them that they were once freshmen too, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's really good for these freshmen to see these seniors and how they practice and eventually see how they play and how they compete, and hopefully that'll help build our program for years to come.
When's your first game?
We play Friday next week. We've got Lyman at home.
And you guys always have a tough schedule. It seems like every time I've talked to you, Coaches Core, the last couple of years, there's never a time where I said, oh, you're at the easy part of the schedule. It was always, hey, the schedule's tough. Oh, wait, it was tough 2 weeks ago when we talked again. You never have an easy schedule, which is I guess can be frustrating sometimes, but also really good because you see a lot of really good competition between Class A and Class B throughout the entire season. And you guys don't shy away from it at all.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's tough. It's I'm sure if coaches were honest, they would like to start with maybe an easier opponent to start the season with, kind of get their feet wet and, get game time going and everything else. But our first 2 opponents, we play Lyman at home, and then we followed up with Winter the next week. So it's those 2 teams were in the state tournament last year, and I think the previous 2 years. So it's one of those things that, Lyman was one of the 8 best teams in Class B last year. Winter was one of the 8 best teams in Class A last year, and that's who we get to play the first 2 games. So there's good and bad with that. It'll be frustrating at times, but that's what's fun about having a senior-dominated team like we have, is these guys have been through the battles. They know what to expect. They know how to compete. They know how to go out there and give it everything they got. And I really like our odds. It's one of those things that, they're going to be very talented teams. They're going to be very hard to win. But at the same time, they got to deal with the same stuff we got to deal with. They got to deal with, having 10 practices, and then we got to go play a darn good opponent. They got to do the same thing. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll give each of those teams a good run, and I think if we play our best basketball, we'll be in a really good spot.
We've talked about those 4 seniors that returned to the starting lineup. Who's someone that maybe didn't get a whole lot of time last year, and obviously you're only 3 practices in, and things could change by the time the first game happens, by the time the 10th game happens. But who's a guy that's that was under the radar last year that you're pretty excited about this year, or maybe a couple guys too?
Yeah, I think a couple guys really come to mind. One is Dason Titsy, and he did start for us last year, but he was more of a defensive guy. He didn't look to score. He didn't look to shoot. He didn't look to really contribute on that offensive end. That kid's put a ton of time in the offseason, and he's really developed a nice perimeter shot. I look for him to be more aggressive on the offensive end and to really help us help take the load off of Lathan Prince and Cormac Duffy. And another kid that I'm anxious to see on the basketball court is Brock Zeep. He came in this year to Stanley County, and he did a great job for us in football. And he's tall, he's athletic, he's a sophomore. He obviously wasn't with us last season. Anybody that works as hard as Brock does, we definitely will find a spot for him on the floor. So I'm excited to have him and to see what dimension he could bring to our team as well.
As you get ready for that first game coming up next week, what's practice look like? What's going into the weekend? How does the weekend shake out for you guys? Because I know everybody handles the Friday, Saturday, and maybe a shoot-around on Sunday or something like that a little bit differently. How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, we've been going all week, obviously, and we've had the night practices. We split our gym with our high school girls team, and so those night practices get a little bit longer just to make sure we get everything in that we need to. And then also, we don't have enrichment and we don't have school on this Friday, so that allows us to play a little bit longer as well on Friday. And then we do have we'll have a shoot around on Saturday that'll more just kind of get your legs back, get in the gym, say hi to everybody, get some shots up type of deal. And then because we have our high school Christmas concert that everybody should go to on Monday, we are going to practice at 6 a.m. Monday morning. So hopefully the boys get plenty of rest over the weekend because we'll be back and running right early in the morning on Monday.
And Michigan plays Saturday, so everybody should be in home and in bed Sunday night.
Trust me, I'd never had to schedule around a Big Ten championship until this year. But yeah, we definitely weren't going to be able to miss that. So that's happening.
All right, so I'll ask you a couple more questions. First is, how does Michigan get the job done Saturday to win the Big Ten championship?
Play as good as they did last week.
That's pretty easy for you.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome if they did. With Iowa, they're dangerous in the sense that they're so basic, it just makes your eyes bleed, but they're good at what they do. We can't turn the ball over, and we've got to take care of it. They're not going to wow you with huge explosive offensive plays, but they will slowly take the ball down the field if you let them. So hopefully our defense can create some turnovers, and then I think if we jump on Iowa early and get up 10, 14 points right away, make them kind of get out of their game plan to the ground and pound stuff, then I think Michigan fans are going to have a great Saturday night. So that's the plan.
So now the last question I'll end with is, I know we're still basically 10 days away, right around 9 days now, but 9 days away from that first game. How does Stanley County start out 1-0 against Lyman?
I think the biggest thing is I think we've got to continue to get in tremendous shape. That's what this first week is all about. And then that first game, I've been doing this long enough. Hofteaser and I went back and we counted up how many years I've been a head coach, and this is going to be, I think it was my 8th season as a head coach. So it's
there you go. Okay.
It's been a minute, but it also gives you a kind of sense of calm of, I know I used to be like rushed and nervous and, we got to have everything in. What about this? What about that? And it's like, I just kind of take a deep breath and you think, let's get the important stuff in that we have to get in, and then it's a long season. I don't expect us to have every offensive set and every defensive thing that we're going to do in the first 10 days, and if we did, we wouldn't be good at any of them anyway. So I think it's going to rely on us taking care of the basketball like most first games of the year do, and really trying to find a balance of, inside-outside game, because I know with seeing us in practice and with the guys that we brought back, we have a tendency to like the long ball, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, threes are great, but we want to be able to take them when we want to take them, not when the defense dictates. So there's plenty of things that we got to work on. You know, I've got that big master list, and we're slowly chipping things away on the way in, but it'll take some time, and hopefully, you know, we catch Lyman off guard, and maybe they're not ready for their first game of the year.
Coach Max Foth, Stanley County Buffaloes, they play next Friday against Lyman to open up the season. Coach, I appreciate the time as always. It's good to talk to you again. It's been a couple of weeks, and it's good to we'll be talking plenty this season, and good luck through the rest of this week, and have some fun at practice and get ready for that first game.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Head Coach Max Foth, the Stanley County Buffaloes. We return and finish Coach's Corner here live at the Long Branch on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dale and DT here for the LB.
You know, Dale, the Long Branch offers variety, live music, and drink specials to help you unwind.
True, but you have got to try one of the most diverse menus available.
Got to get in a shout-out for their wings. Some of the best in town. Tuesdays, they have wing specials and a killer selection of flavors.
And now, the LB is home of KCCR's Coach's Corner. Wednesday nights up on the big stage.
Come for the food, stay for the fun. The LB, the Long Branch, 351 South Pierre Street in downtown Pierre.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
For 30 years, Todd's Electric Service has had the privilege of providing electrical wiring solutions for residential, commercial, and agricultural customers in Central South Dakota. From small service calls to large commercial projects, Todd's Electric Service has experienced electricians for any job. Call 223-2518 to schedule your project. Todd's Electric Service is your line to power. 223-2518.
There wasn't always a windmill in Millbank or a vinegar museum in Roslyn. Someone had to paint the graffiti mural on the Turtle Creek Spillway. And before First Dakota filed the first charter in 1872, you couldn't bank in South Dakota. Every timeless institution, tradition, and thriving business was started somewhere by someone who had a dream and the passion to make it happen first. What will be your South Dakota first? Visit firstdakota.com/first. Member FDIC.
This is Coach's Corner on Central South Dakota Sports Station, AM 1240. Today's KCCR.
As we welcome you back here live at the Long Branch to wrap up Coach's Corner for another edition. We will be back same time, same place next week, Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30. Just two more editions of Coach's Corner until 2022. We will take off the last two Wednesdays of the year and then return in January, that first Wednesday. But same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30, live at the Long Branch. We appreciate them hosting us again for another Wednesday. And enjoy the rest of the Wednesday. Enjoy that nice day that we've had today. And we will be back on the air next week, Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30, here for Coach's Corner.
Been listening to Coach's Corner on KCCR and online at kccrradio.com. Coach's Corner live from the Long Branch has been brought to you by Kruger Contracting, Avera St. Mary's, Bank West, Birding Electric, Gales Gas, Edward Jones Financial, Gateway Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Midwest Co-op, and Oahe Federal Credit Union. Coach's Corner on KCCR is also brought to you by Lamb Motor, First Dakota National Bank, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, and Wagner Auto. Join us every Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 6:30 for Coach's Corner, live at the Long Branch in Pierre or on air at KCCR or kccrradio.com. This has been a special presentation of Riverfront Broadcasting Sports.